I have a tendency to do that. I'm very
5?
sorry.
Oh, 5's a good one. Yeah, whoever said 5, I respect you. Also, that's my favourite number, so...
Oh, is it?
Real respect
Nice.
for you.
Oh, nice.
Good to know.
Right, okay. So we did some polls on Instagram, and I can't remember what the results are because they're on my phone, and my phone's recording me, so they're completely useless. Lol.
Next time, just don't say you did polls on Instagram.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea, actually.
Mm.
Right. Okay. It's the TikTok and the Trump one. All right. So just prepare
Okay.
yourselves for some libtard talk. Right. I'll give you some facts, and then you can talk about it amongst yourselves about what's true and what's not true.
Spit some straight facts, boy.
Oh, thank you, Addy. Right. Right.
It's
Okay.
okay, take your time.
So, right. So the thing that started it all off was that the Trump administration was like, "Oh my God, there's a privacy bad thing in TikTok," and they were saying that like the artificial intelligence thing that decides like it's the face recognition artificial intelligence. They thought that was being used to help police in China locate people in the protests and then arresting them based on the facial recognition. So that's what they were spooked about. But they also spooked about just like them using that in America as well. So that's what started it off. Then so Trump like announced that he was going to thinking about banning TikTok. In retaliation for that, supposedly, there was someone who posted a video saying like, everyone on TikTok, let's go downvote Trump's app on the App Store because he's banning our app, so we should ban his app. They were thinking that if the App Store has an app that's rated at 1 star, then it'll automatically get removed, but that's just not true, but that's what they thought. So the Trump app's got like 1.2 stars now. So that was kind of how it started off. But then there's a load of other stuff like...
they booked loads of tickets for like Trump's Tulsa rally, didn't they?
Yep. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, yeah,
then
that
they
was
just didn't turn
hilarious. That was hilarious.
Your...
Gotta admit, that was a
Um,
gamer move from them.
Yeah.
It was very clever actually,
yeah.
but they denied that that's what caused the low turnout. I think it was supposed to be like 1 million seats, but then only like 6,000 turned up.
Yeah.
But they attributed it to something else.
They planned an outside venue as well, but that actually didn't end up
and it
happening.
was just not used.
Yeah, and Nigel Farage
Yeah.
was there as well, and he was
They
greeted by
had
a tiny
to- Was
he?
amount
My
of
boy
people,
Nigel?
So
I haven't heard of him in
yeah.
ages.
No way.
I know, he's definitely relevant now, isn't he?
The only thing that I heard was that they had to change venue because the amount of seats were booked they thought was too much for the venue that they originally had, and then no one showed up, so it was pointless and a waste of money.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Anyway, sorry, I've distracted you from what you were saying about TikTok.
No, that what you said was the other thing that I was
Oh,
going to
right,
say.
okay.
The only other thing was that like, another thing that was organised on TikTok was that like, the Dallas police was like send us videos of illegal protesters, but then it was organised on TikTok that a load of K-pop fans would just send K-pop memes to the Dallas Twitter account so that they couldn't see any of the illegal
yeah.
protesting.
I think
Oh,
they,
right.
I think they
Things that
flooded
they did,
hashtags
which
as
is
well.
just hilarious. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is it. Which is just incredible.
Which is it's
Um,
honestly hilarious.
Yeah.
Who has opinions about whether it should be banned or not? Then
I don't know. I mean, TikTok is kind of weird. Like, I mean, to be honest, I think any country shouldn't really ban any social media at all. But to be honest, I don't know about TikTok because, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a joke on TikTok where if you get shadow banned or whatever, you say, "Oh, I've just been shadow banned, but by the way, I love China. Xi Jinping is cool," and then suddenly they're unshadow banned. So it's like I don't know. I mean, it's like I really do not know.
what does shadow banning mean, by the way?
Shadow banning is basically when if you do something that the social media platform doesn't like so violating their terms of use or whatever, like posting dangerous stuff or more worrying cases, like something that they don't agree with, you get shadow banned, and that means that you won't appear in like the suggested, the For You page on TikTok.
Yeah.
The only way you'd be able to be discovered is if people actually search for your content, and only that way, instead of like being recommended.
Yeah.
So that's what shadow banning is.
Okay.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think it all comes down
Also,
to if what were you saying?
I was just going to say hello to Izzy because she just
Hello.
carry on.
Obviously, it all
Hello.
hello. Obviously, it all comes down to if China is getting data from TikTok, which the public doesn't know about. The Trump administration claims they are, and other countries, like I think Canada said that they don't have any information regarding that. I don't know about other places, but I mean,
It is banned in India, by the way.
Okay, it's banned in India. So yeah, it's extremely possible that TikTok is getting data and sending it to China. So yeah, I don't really care because I don't care about TikTok. Seems a reasonable precaution, even if you didn't have information. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I guess all of the other social media platforms like Instagram, they collect tons of data about you, and that goes to Facebook, which own Instagram. That's an American company, and you could say that if the FBI want to do an investigation, then Facebook could just hand over the data. So I don't know. It kind of works both ways, really.
But
it's just that one is an authoritarian dictatorship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the only thing I've heard is that, like, it's like Facebook collects and steals all your data, everyone. But then a Chinese company does it. Evil, bad, bad, evil.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
That's the only thing I know about, but obviously there is the difference of, it's a bit of a dictatorship over there, so a bit more dangerous to have stealing data, or like, keeping it when you don't want it to. It does feel like they're focusing on it because it's a Chinese company, rather than, like, it's a problem in anything that comes with data handling, and it's been prevalent for ages that it's a thing, and just not much seems to happen about it. But it's just all of a sudden it's a foreign company. It's like, oh, bad. No, get rid of that.
I mean, the thing that... Oh, bollocks. He said he wanted to keep his name anonymous, and I just said his name. Or we're going to put that out.
We can edit that bit out.
There's always bleeps, don't worry.
Yeah, edit that out.
Just start again.
Just say, a friend told you, and then...
Who was that friend?
A friend told me that one of the justifications for closing TikTok was that because, like, China's in a pickle right now, and their democracy isn't really a democracy. So he said that, like, or she said, that if you, like, bleed China of their economy and stuff, and because obviously TikTok's really profitable there, you slowly, like, reduce their income and things, they're going to have to, like, rely on some other country to support them. And what he's saying by that is that, like, when or if America had to save them, they'd be like, okay, we're only going to save you if you start being democratic and stuff. So, and they're saying that they're doing that with other things like shifting out their manufacturing stuff from other places as well. I don't know what people think of that as a strategy to make Hong Kong not bad. I don't think TikTok's going to be the main way to save China, but
no, TikTok will save Chinese democracy.
But, like, aren't there a lot of people relying on TikTok, though? Because, like, there are a lot of people relying on YouTube as, like, say, as a living, okay? So maybe there must be, like, some people who are relying purely on, say, TikTok. I mean, they must have other social media accounts, but still, TikTok would be...
Yeah.
So you... cutting a large part of their income, so what is the government going to do about that, though? I mean, yeah, China's most likely stealing data, okay, because they've done it before, but what about the people getting affected by banning it?
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You know, there are people that do rely on TikTok for revenue. Like, you get these famous TikTok stars, but if you look at what happened to Vine, you know, Vine was kind of very similar to TikTok, and that actually ended up being shut down. And then you had many of the Vine stars actually move over to YouTube. Like, look at Jake Paul, Logan Paul. That's what they did. So they probably might just transition and adapt. And also, social media influencers make up a very very small part of the workforce, but still they're workers nonetheless. And we should care for all labour. But that's a point for another topic, really. But yeah, anyway, they probably just transition over to YouTube. I don't know.
True, but like, how was I going to say this? TikTok stars don't get as much like recognition as compared to other social media platforms. I mean, like, as a brand value, if you look at TikTok stars. What do you call TikTok stars?
TikTokers.
TikTokers.
TikTokers. They don't have much brand value, even if they have 1 million subscribers or whatever. But 1 million subscribers on YouTube is quite a lot, okay? And they have a much larger and stronger brand value. So transitioning is not easy. So
yeah,
so you're losing a large part of your revenue in that.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think the only way that a TikTok star could transition easily is if they already had other social media platforms, which, to be honest, they already do. Like, they have Instagram accounts. That's for certain, and they could probably put something on there. But still, I understand. It would be difficult for them to transition to another platform if TikTok was shut down. But then again, if TikTok is banned in just one country, if it's just banned in the US, they could just get around it. They could just use a VPN and pretend that they're in like Canada and post to TikTok there.
VPN sales skyrocket.
And on that note, today you were sponsored, but no.
Yeah. NordVPN, please sponsor us. We're in desperate need of money.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Use code Wrangle for 50% off.
For anyone who's gullible, that is not true, by the way.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
That's a good meme.
Oh, yes.
Tommy, because you said that, well, you were very sure that if it found out to be true that they were selling their stuff, that it would be a justification to ban it. But are you saying that it's justification if they're like collecting data about ad preferences, or only if it's that they're using the facial recognition for something that's a bit naughty kind of thing? Because there's lots of other things that use facial recognition, and obviously they have to put it in where they're based.
Well, you're lagging a bit for me, but I mean, there's a large difference between TikTok's supposed to be an American, well, not an American, but it's owned by a Chinese company, but it's based in America. It's not supposed to send any of its data to countries, and if it is sending data to China, anything helping the Chinese regime at the moment, we really should try and stop, because the Chinese regime at the moment is very bad, and I do agree with what the unconfirmed friend was saying. We should try and pressure that regime to make it more democratic and stop some of the things it can doing.
Yeah, I agree with that, because if you look at what the CCP have been doing, it's absolutely mad. So many human rights violations. They're evil.
Did you see about the there was an interview with on the BBC today, I think, either today or yesterday, with the Chinese ambassador, and he showed the viral video. I'm sure you've seen it. There's drone footage of massive groups of people being blindfolded and taken into trains and stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah, and he showed
the Uyghur internment camps that China's got. For anybody that's wondering.
I forgot the name of the place it was taken, but he showed in that video, and his response was basically just talking about how that city or town or part of the country is beautiful, and how you've never really experienced the true size of China until you've been there, and how like he basically just dodged the question and couldn't answer that there was literally being like ethnic cleansing going on.
Was the question just like, what the fuck's going on with all these dead people or something?
It was like, can you explain what's happening in this footage? And he just kept like tiptoeing around the question, and like refusing to answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we need to point out is that you know, a lot of people, especially that are pro-China, would think, oh, we're dissing the CCP. It means that we hate Chinese people. That's not the case here. We think, you know, Chinese people. I'm sure there's loads of really cool Chinese people. There's really cool places in China, but the Chinese government is who we have the issue with, and we think that, you know, the Chinese people are the real victims here. They are living under a tyrannical regime here.
No, we clearly all are vehemently racist and hate Chinese people just because they're Chinese. Obviously,
of course.
Have you not heard like who you're talking to? Yeah, no. Clearly, there's a lot of problems.
So we don't hate the Chinese citizens. We just don't like the Chinese government.
Yeah,
basically.
Oh, well, this podcast's been censored in China now. That's great.
It's been censored in China the moment we were any note of pro fucking democracy.
Wait, if, say, the international community does keep pressuring China into forming a democracy, couldn't it, say, cause a civil unrest and, well, riots all over China, and then, like, there'd be, like, probably millions of deaths, if not thousands of deaths, if not millions. Yeah. So, I mean, surely there must be another way to go around this.
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think, really, the thing is, people in China have been falling for the CCP's propaganda that they put out. They've just been putting out loads of propaganda saying that communism is great, dictatorship is great, democracy is bad.
Those that don't fall for it are just in prison or dead, so...
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody's just, you know, believing all this shit, and they're like, oh, yeah, democracy bad. But, to be honest, I think, oh god, I don't know, it's going to be difficult, you know, to say, like, overthrow the Chinese government, but they have so many issues. There's genocide literally going on, you know.
Ethnic cleansing is my least favourite.
Yeah, why isn't the international community doing anything about the genocide bit, though? I was kind of shocked when I first heard about it, and then there's no, like, UN isn't doing anything, America isn't doing anything. None of the countries are really, like, forcing China to, like, saying, like, okay, that's, like, you need to stop now, you've pushed too far, we're gonna throw nukes at you now.
I think that's the reason, like, you can't forcibly stop them because that will just cause a war, and when everyone has nukes, you don't really want to cause a war.
China's almost at war with India, though. And it's probably an economic war and an information war with America, so what about that?
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying about countries not doing much, I mean, there's everybody agrees that ethnic cleansing is bad, I hope. But the thing is, China's, it is genocide, but the thing is, people are kind of pro-China in general because China's a very big, powerful economy, and they don't want to lose access to it, which is it's really bad, to be honest. But I think we should be harsh on China here. Just look at what you're doing to the Uyghurs. This is mad. This is evil, what you're doing. And they should, be punished, but not like outright war, but, sanctions and whatnot. But
yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a valid point. Going to war might kill even more people, so...
yeah.
I mean, because what happened, it's a similar kind of situation to the what happened in Germany after the First World War. Also, just another thing that I just forgot to mention. Another thing that they're doing is they're forcing certain ethnic minorities to have contraception, so they can't make any more kids, which is basically genocide.
That is part of that is genocide. That's an aspect of genocide.
Yeah.
Wait, can you repeat that? I didn't miss that.
They're forcing certain ethnic minorities to have contraception that they can't like remove, so they can't like have any kids or anything, which is
basically then neutering them. Basically.
In China.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, like when you go take your cat to the vets.
Yeah. I know neutral. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, it's evil what they're doing. They're just forcefully doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they're doing so much terrible stuff. But then, because like a lot of these things, it's either we don't do anything and we just let them keep going on. But then the alternative is like draining them of their economy and stuff. So like banning TikTok and also putting out manufacturing and other things. But then with stuff like that, with like Germany after the First World War, they pretty much had that because all their economy was drained because they were paying other countries to like fix their stuff. But then that left their country in such a bad state that the people, the citizens, were pretty much working non-stop just to make enough money to pay for the other fixing of the things, which is what they'd be doing. So you've got a controlling state who needs to pay a lot of money. What's the state going to do? They're going to force people to pay a lot more to do a lot of work and stuff that they don't want to do. And I just can't see that, like... And even if they do, because what happened with Germany was they was like, fuck this, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm just going to engage in war with other people so I don't have to pay. That's one of the benefits of like taking over everything, is that they don't have to pay any more money to them. But surely something to that effect is going to happen, because China's not going to want to be rescued by America because it's a completely different culture, and they're just going to enslave their citizens to like even more of an effect that they already are. What do people think about that?
Certainly, enforcing sanctions just does give an easy out for like, you know, antagonizing foreign enemies and stuff like that. It's easy to radicalize people if it feels like they have a common enemy, which is just entirely what Hitler did. So it certainly does lead to a danger. But I mean, I'm not a global politics master. I don't know how to solve the situation.
Why not?
Because you know what? I don't know why not, Tommy. Okay, but yeah, no, it has its dangers. But if like, I don't really know what else can be done. So
You can't just keep on appeasing. I mean, like, appeasement led to World War II because we kept on appeasing Hitler and giving him stuff, letting him do stuff. So we have to do something.
Yeah.
And it can't be all out war because they're a global superpower. So there's not many options we have except things like sanctions and economic pressure.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could compare it to this. I don't know. It's like there's two very different things. But you know, if you look at North Korea, back in 2017, they were pumping out nukes left, right, and center, and they were testing them. They even shot one over Japan, and then they put so many sanctions on the country that I think they basically eventually sort of buckled down, and they're like, okay, these sanctions are bad. Look, we're destroying all of the nukes. It's all gone. And then they haven't really been doing anything, but actually they probably have. So I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is that sanctions can be effective in some situations. But yeah.
Yeah. It's a very spooky thing.
Okay, so all Huawei stuff is manufactured in Huawei, correct?
In Hong Kong, do you mean?
Yeah, whatever. So like the USA is banning Huawei and stuff. UK is also banning Huawei, so there's going to be a massive loss of jobs. So if there's a massive loss of jobs, people are most likely gonna starve and not find food.
Yeah.
So instead of like killing them instantly by a war, they're killing them slowly, which is much worse. Wouldn't the war be a better and easier option?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because I mean, in an age where war isn't just like a dude shoot another dude or like sword fighting, it's you basically have the disaster bomb, which can make about 17 natural disasters happen in a 500-mile radius.
Yeah, literally.
I think the loss of jobs, there's already massive civil unrest, like, in general, because, you know, all of the things happening in Hong Kong, and the fact that they just made it illegal for you to say, hey, democracy is good anywhere in the planet, by the way.
Now we're all banned from Hong Kong. Now.
If we go to Hong Kong, we can legally be arrested, I think, because of what we've said.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I don't know. It's like, it gets to a point where, like, if the people are oppressed, they do rise up. But it gets to a point where, like, if you have so much control, you can't do that because you don't have any means to fight, like, the people oppressing you. Literally, or like physically, you can't. There's no avenues to do it democratically, obviously, because democracy is clearly not what's in China. So, like, I don't know. It's foreign aid can really only be given in a way that doesn't, you know, like if you can offer like medical aid to people if they do protests and they get like attacked by the police and stuff like that. Like that's the only kind of aid that you can give. You can't have aid that directly supports people who are opposing the government. You can only really help the people in a way that's considered humane. And that's the only real way for you to be, like, not antagonistic or say, yeah, I agree with you having your government torn down. Like, that's really the only way that I think can be done. Even then, it's still iffy, but, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know.
One thing that the person who goes unnamed said, because I had the same sort of concerns, was that, like, if you're basically just making a country worse, surely they're going to, like, not want that, and then they might go to war. Do you think that there is a possibility of them going to war? Because what the person who remains unnamed said was that, like, because that it's surrounded by a load of powerful countries, it wouldn't make sense for them to declare war on anyone else, so that's just not an issue. So, which would mean that, like, you could be a bit more oppressive as far as the other countries oppressing Hong Kong in a good way. Would you think that's like a justification for there being less risk and therefore doing more risky things like that?
Can I just send a quick news article in the chat that I just found about this?
Go right
Certainly.
ahead.
Yeah, sure, go.
News is certainly more informed than I am, so that's big thank yous. Don't laugh at me, I can't speak.
That's perfectly fine. You've just woken up.
Shut up! I haven't at least been awake for like an hour.
Lies.
Just because you don't believe me doesn't mean it's a lie.
No, that's what what makes it a lie.
You know what? This is fake news. Get out of here.
Wait, how do I read the chat?
With your eyes.
I don't think you sent it, Gabby.
Yeah.
Either it's sending or it hasn't come through yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't got it yet.
Whoa.
Oh,
If you don't see it... Oh,
don't mean to turn that.
That was
Don't
Trump.
do it. Stop it.
Delete it from the recording. There it is. Yeah, there's the
Oh, my internet.
Someone summarise it. Oh my god, that's a lot of pictures.
reading. That's not a thing that I can do.
Gabby, do you have a TLDR explanation of what the article is saying about?
Yeah, just hang on.
We must wait patiently for the information to be spoon-fed us because we are too lazy to
yes. Hmm.
I mean, my excuse is I'm definitely not playing a video game at the same time as this, so you know.
It's essentially more information about what we are accusing Beijing of. So it says, Britain on Sunday accused Beijing of gross, egregious human rights abuses over its deeply troubling treatment of ethnic and religious minorities in China's western... I'm not going to try and pronounce that region.
Yeah.
It's Xinjiang, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah. I haven't learnt Chinese.
You,
And it's essentially just more information on what's going on in the camps and what we're being made aware of.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dominic Raab said, we want a positive relationship with China, but we cannot see behaviour like that and not call it out.
Mm.
Because we know that because of the whole Huawei thing,
Yeah.
tensions have been rising up, so this is sort of more of a response to that and how we are calling their behaviour out, essentially.
Alright, okay.
Okay. I mean, I think we can be quite certain that they've done enough to warrant more than just calling out. And I think we need to figure out what we're actually going to do because we're not doing anything. Because like it's such a bad situation that it's not like, oh no, they're doing this now. Oh, okay, well that's going to be bad enough that we can start doing this other thing because they're already doing terrible things. But it doesn't seem like the UK actually wants to do anything because they're just passively declining Huawei and stuff. I don't think things are really going anywhere.
I just read it. Rab said he will update British lawmakers on Monday on the UK government's next steps regarding Beijing's draconian new law in Hong Kong.
Oh, is that this Monday? Is it tomorrow? I'm guessing it is.
Regardless of like everything, I like the descriptor draconian law. That's just I know that's a bad thing, but it's a cool descriptor.
Yeah. It's like Dracula, draconian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dragon law.
Yeah.
Dragon law states you cannot have human rights.
Dragon law sounds like some law that would be made in Wales.
That is...
Yeah.
Because dragons. Yeah. Wales is the best flag.
On the subject of human rights
Anyway.
and shit, do people know about the Shamima Begum?
Oh, Shamima Begum. Oh, yeah. I've heard a bit about it, yeah.
I'll fill you in, friend.
Please do.
She was 15, she was one of 3 schoolgirls, and she fled London to go to Syria to join ISIS, so-called Islamic State. She married an ISIS person, had 3 kids, all of them died, and she left because she couldn't endure anymore, but she also said that she had a good time, and that seeing severed heads didn't faze her at all. During that 5 years, she was a housewife. Somewhere in between that, she was her citizenship in the UK was revoked by someone. I think it might have been Dominic Raab. And now she's just had a Court of Appeal ruling that she can appeal her citizenship revocation. Do people think she should be allowed back in the country if she's done all that stuff?
Yes. I mean, she was a child when she went
Why,
out.
Tommy?
She was a child when she went out. She's not culpable for her actions, and I don't know the precedent for removing citizenship, but I assume it's because she essentially committed treason, which I think is still. I think you can still execute. You couldn't actually execute, but I think it's in the law you can execute for treason.
Yeah.
Wait, how did she commit treason?
Because she joined the enemy essentially. She joined an organization who wants to.
But she married an ISIS guy. She didn't join ISIS, right?
Yeah, it was essentially the same thing.
She's being at least complacent about ISIS, I think we can assert.
Yeah.
I mean, she was aiding someone who was a part of it, like actively helping them out, so yeah, I guess.
In the ruling they did bring up how a lot of people are trafficked into it and kind of almost brainwashed, but then equally, if you're in a post-brainwashed state, is it just safe for them to just screw back and get planed into the UK? Because the thing that they were saying about the reason that they removed her citizenship was because of national security reasons. So I guess they're like scared that she's going to do something bad. But then, is there anything that could actually eliminate that risk? Is there anything that she could do?
If you cook for a murderer, it doesn't make you a murderer, does it?
If you what for a murderer?
If you cook food for a murderer, it doesn't make you a murderer, does it?
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
If
Well,
you knew what the murderer did,
yeah.
and you knew exactly what they did, and you saw it happen, because essentially you saw everything, the severed heads and stuff, then yeah,
okay, so
murderer.
what if the murderer kills you if you tell on him? So
Then you're dead.
Yeah, literally.
you're dead. You're dead if you talk about me. He'd be like,
I think
yeah, that's what he's like.
I think in that example, it's not that like you cook food for a murderer. It's that you like see that they've committed a murder. You know they've committed a murder. You have the information to condemn them for committing a murder, and you actively aid them in not doing that, and then you become an accessory to murder, which is also a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did she help in any murderers? In any murders?
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know shit about
She
this.
says that she doesn't. But then, like, if you're happy with staying around people who do murder and stuff, doesn't that kind of suggest that you're
Okay. Yeah, that's a valid point. I feel you.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, look,
Okay.
everybody makes mistakes in their life, especially when they're young kids. And Shamima Begum, when she was 15, she was radicalized online basically by IS, by Islamic State.
Well, she met the guy online
Yeah.
I don't know, I think so, but she was radicalized.
Probably.
on Tinder or something.
I don't know, but anyway, she was radicalized basically, and she started getting sent propaganda for Islamic State, and she was like, she started falling for this propaganda, because propaganda can be very persuasive.
No one is
and-
immune to propaganda, as the old
Literally.
adage goes.
Yeah, and she fell for it, and she joined Islamic State. But everybody makes mistakes, and as we were saying, yes, Islamic State is really bad. They're an evil organization, but I see her as a victim of this propaganda, and she that's what I see, and I think revoking her citizenship is not a good idea. Even if she holds citizenship of another country, she grew up in the UK. She has also connections in the UK here.
She does have Bangladesh citizenship, that's one thing that they did say. But do you not think
Yeah,
there's any
yeah,
risk to the UK, in your opinion, that she be coming back?
Well, I don't think there'd be any national security risk at all, really. I mean, I think, it's like, you can monitor if you want, I don't know, but it's like, maybe punishment, I don't know, but no need to revoke citizenship and accept that we all make mistakes. I mean, she was a young teenager, when this happens. So-
I definitely
would
agree that she's like a victim and stuff, but like, and I completely agree that she's a victim of trafficking and stuff. But as long as there's a potential that the core values, well, I mean, the whole point of you trafficking someone is that they convince you to have the same values as the person that you're being trafficked by. So the fact that she supposedly, which in order to travel all that way, she must have the same values as them. She's completely a victim and stuff, but then I just don't understand how you don't see that there's any risk at all, because she still holds the core values.
No, I don't think that there's a risk, because I think, at the end of the day, people do make mistakes, and yes, there are murderers, that's a different story, but, she was a young teenager, and at the same time, she's saying, that she, I know she said, oh, she was unfazed by,
He got
I don't know what she's saying about, this, did I freeze?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is concerning that she's saying that she was unfazed by all the heads being chopped off. But I guess you could say that was a part of the propaganda, and she was made to believe that. I don't know, but I just think we should give her a second chance, and maybe monitor her. I don't know, or
Yeah, but what if she becomes responsible for the next 9/11 or something like that in the UK?
That's why I suggested to monitor, or maybe sort of have I don't know. I really do not know. Maybe I don't know. But
Tommy, what were you going to say?
Well, I was who? Not me.
Tommy.
Oh, me. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you completely, Kai. I mean, I agree with everything you say, Oscar, except for the fact she's not a risk. I think you feel like you have to say that she is somewhat a risk, and that even if you monitor, she is still a risk.
yeah, yeah, she is a risk. Yes, I agree. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I feel like she shouldn't have had her citizenship removed. I feel like she should be back here. but she needs to be monitored. She needs to do whatever they do to people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry, I just
Okay.
I don't really know too much about this. I was kind of like not sure what I was saying, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I agree that she is a risk. Yes.
Main reason why I haven't
Yeah,
said much is
I agree
don't know
that,
much about it.
Yeah, I think monitoring her is a good idea. As she is a victim after all. Does anyone want to say anything else? I've got some more shit to talk about.
Oh, do go.
Okay. No, I'm saying moving on to a completely different thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Okie dokie.
No
friends.
objections here.
That was interesting. Okay. The thing that because we did some topics on Instagram, asking for opinions. The thing that was a bit more in debate was the stuff about trans people. So we got two things. It was whether it's transphobic to not date trans people, and also talking about where we want to see trans pronoun identification in the future. So thinking about like everyone has to wear a badge, or everyone just regardless of what you look like, regardless of any preconceptions, you always ask someone that you meet what pronouns you'd like, or you just completely get rid of pronouns, or just use your name, or just use they them for everyone, which might restrict people from being able to express themselves by being referred to by their pronoun of choice.
May I just say, badges are yikes, that's all.
That's the thing, that, genuinely, we were asked in Debating Club to talk about whether we'd want everyone to wear badges by, the college,
the
people,
moment,
to,
the
see
moment
what
you can
that was
identify
about.
people as being part of a separate group visually, based on a piece of clothing that they're required to wear, is the moment that we are just one step closer to Nazi Germany, my friend. I'm sorry, but they did that. Any time that you try to discriminate against a group, you have a way to actively identify them. And, this is a group that has a history of the bad things happening to them. So if by giving them a badge that says that's required, that's no good. You can have badges that are like, hey, I am this, and that's fine. That's an expression of pride. But the moment it's a government required badge to tell us that you're trans, it's oh no, things are going wrong.
Do you think that would be any less bad if everyone wore a badge as opposed to just people who would?
I think if we take the example of what was tried, in our secondary school, what they tried to implement was they tried to give everyone badges to identify that they were part of a group, so everyone knew, oh, this person in the year above is a part of the same group as me. That means, I can talk to them about things. In actuality, what happened is everyone hated the badges, no one wore them, and everyone thought everything to do with it was stupid. And you know how the general public is. It's basically a secondary school, but with a lot more radical opinions. So, I feel like no one's going to wear, I don't think a government can feasibly enforce, a piece of clothing that isn't for safety's reasons. They can't even do that because there's people who are the masks are bad,
Very
So
true.
I don't think it's feasibly possible to happen. Whether or not it's good doesn't matter. Even if it is good, it's not going to work. I don't think it's good either. I think it's a moot point. If you want to identify as this, you can, but you don't need to. You shouldn't be forced to identify as something unless it's for your or other people's safety.
Yeah. I think
What
that's
badges
fair.
were male?
The coloured badges.
The little
The coloured badges.
Yeah, the coloured badges.
Yeah, in fact, I think I've got mine in my drawer actually. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, that was a
Those
mistake.
were
Wait, so you're saying that the question was whether them people should wear badges which say that you need to call us they that, and right?
Yeah, pronoun identification, that sort of thing.
Yeah, just a badge that says what pronoun.
Oh yeah, this was the badge that we had to wear at our at our school.
Yucky.
Oh no.
Why though?
They thought it would instill a sense of community, but in actuality, nothing changed. People just got annoyed at the new regulations and just never wore the badges, and they just got
cost
punished for
£1
no reason.
each.
Yeah, and
Disgusting.
they always fell off as well. They had a backstop on them, and it just it always fell off. And you couldn't wear it wherever you wanted as well. You had to wear it on a specific place. And I'm sorry, I'm very annoyed at this because it was pointless, and this is why I have such an opinion on it. It's not going to work. Everyone will hate it. Fight me. Yeah.
True. What were you saying, Addy, darling?
I was saying something. What was I saying?
Oh no! I think you're asking what I was asking. Well, I mean, I think we've got a pretty consistent consensus about badges.
Hello, face. No.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing?
How goes it, my friend? Oh, I have a thing to say about the dating as well.
Ooh, say that.
Right. So, I feel like if it's like when it comes to like sexual preferences and things like that, it's like you can't force someone to be with something that they aren't like sexually compatible with. In terms of like a romantic relationship, it's that's entirely personal. But when it comes to the sexual aspect, you can't force someone to do something that doesn't like appeal to them sexually, because that's just not good. You can't do that. So I feel like if you're like, I don't want to be in a sexual relationship with someone who's, I guess, like their genitalia isn't compatible with me in a way that I like, I don't think that's a bad thing, because it's not like discriminating, especially if it's like, oh, you won't have sex with me because I'm X, and that X is, like if I went to Kai and he's the not gay, and I was like, Kai, you won't fuck me, what the hell, are you homophobic? That it's not like discriminating, it's just, it's like sexual preference. You can't police that in like that.
Hi friends, we had a bit of a pickle with the audio and the video on this episode, which is why it cut out about an hour into the podcast. It's an issue that's been solved and won't happen again, so yeah, sorry about that. Big thank you to everyone who joined us, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.